Hello, Joanna Garzilli here. Great to connect with you. I just have to warn you, if you hear any loud child noises in the background, that's my son Dominic. It is the end of the school holidays. I am letting him indulge in playing video games with his friends. I have been filming today life stories. If you have not seen my show, there's wonderful interviews on there. We have 80 interviews that include authors, actors, athletes, people who I feel are really making a difference in the world or have overcome some major type of adversity. You can watch that show at lifestoriestelevision.com. That's lifestoriestelevision.com. And you can connect with me directly on social media. My handle is at Joanna Garzilli. Right? There's so many platforms now. We can connect in multiple places. I am going to share with you today some things about what is happening in the world energetically, how the energy may be affecting you, some tools to help you move through these energy shifts, and also a little bit, I'm going to talk with you a little bit about the tarot as well. All right, so let me just start with just want to take this moment to center, to ground, to connect with you. I still find it very challenging to be visible. So let me explain about that. Here is my dichotomy that I go through. And the way that I move through it is by just taking the action that feels uncomfortable for me. So I sometimes feel as if I am the hermit. I want to go off and be in my cave and contemplate and meditate on my metaphorical mountaintop, which is my home in West Hollywood. I also have this really strong desire to share the spiritual wisdom I have, because I have traveled the world extensively. I have gone through spiritual ceremonies, rituals, conversations, happenings with a number of spiritual leaders from varying indigenous cultures. And there is a lot that I know and a lot I have experienced. The struggle that comes for me in this day and age of technology, I often refer to technology as it's a gift. It feels like a gift and a curse. A gift because I can connect with more people than ever before. I can connect with people all around the world, right? That's something that we can do. The connection can be immediate. And as an empath, I feel the energy very strongly of other people. And so what happens is sometimes someone's sharing information, guidance, oneself, right? That as human beings, we are conditioned to judge. And so there is a split second. Most of the time, we're not conscious of it. But the second you see someone, right, it just happens, it's me in this instance, right? You're with me here. You're going to make a judgment of whoever it is. Too blonde, too much makeup, too little makeup, fat, thin. I like her voice. Her voice is annoying. Or whatever the thing is that you're going to like about the person, or the thing that you're going to dislike, the thing that's going to inspire you, the thing that's going to trigger you. The upliftment where you get in the flow, the resistance that occurs where you want to shut down. You want to shut down and isolate. You may project onto that person. This is a handful of the different scenarios of what happens at the subconscious level in a split second. Spirituality, psychic stuff, tarot, conspiracy theory, Reiki, yoga, healing, ascended masters, like all these different metaphysical topics and spiritual things have gone mainstream. It has gone pop culture. Hollywood stars and people in fashion. It's latest handbag, latest shoes, and oh, I'm going to this meditation studio and I'm doing this new reach enlightenment by meditating in 1 minute. Because this is the pace of the world that we're living in. I have tried to fit into that. I have taught at a meditation studio that is super gorgeous and hip and cool. And I was told, and I've been teaching meditation for over 20 years. Over 20 years. And I was told, you're speaking too slowly. You mustn't do this with your voice. I don't like the tone of your voice. And people that are, I mean, it was a one thing after the other. This is not how we meditate. People can't connect and meditate at this level. It's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. This is what's happening to spirituality now. You've got to be effing kidding me. When I am focused on downloading a meditation that is being channeled, depending on who I'm connecting with on a collective consciousness. So for those of you who are watching right now, who, wherever you are at in your spiritual journey, but especially if you are waking up spiritually and you are being called to go and be a spiritual guide for others, to teach meditation or Reiki or coach in some way or do readings, please don't sell out. Please don't go superficial. Please don't take the shortcut. There is too much of on the surface level. Now, I agree, it's one thing, keep it simple, help people connect. You know, you're not going to maybe go into certain advanced meditation, shamanic guided journey stuff. Keep it real. At what point does someone say, oh, these things with meditation, it's ridiculous. Now, at the time when this person shared with me all the things they didn't like about how I teach meditation, and referred to a couple of people who are prolific in the spiritual community, who are really masterful in their spiritual work, that's not what people want. Spirituality isn't another opportunity to check out. Oh, I've got to hurry up and go and meditate. I've got to close your eyes, focus inwards, bring your awareness to your heart. Now get in that zone. I'm finding peace, I'm calm. It's an oxymoron. It's ridiculous. so we can have the crystal and the whatever, the bandana, and sit in that Zen pose and oming. That's considered a religious thing. It's like too spiritual. It mustn't om either. Om is the sound of the universe. Om is how we connect into our spiritual higher selves. Om. We hit a vibration. Expansion occurs in our energy field, and we are able suddenly to hear at that subtle energy level. Yes. I mean, can you relate to any of this? I was having a conversation with someone today who was on my show, who was wonderful, and pseudo spirituality. So like I said, it's good. It's really good that spirituality is going into the realms of fashion, and it's not such a great thing, in my opinion. Now, if I was really spiritual, I'd have no judgment. I mean, that's what one could say, right? I don't think it's a healthy thing. I don't think it's a good thing. Meditation is a creative process. There are many different forms of meditation. If I had been newer in my career path, let's say, for example, you just done all this certification and meditation and that, it's good to have the guidelines, but you don't want to squash your own creative spirit. You want to have your own essence come through, because there is a specific soul group, say, that you're meant to help. And that could be like, it could be that you're working in a job, or be a teacher in a school, or work in a hospital as a nurse. But there's still a soul group that you're meant to help and connect with. So it's really important that you don't compromise the way that you communicate your spiritual self. Otherwise, you may as well go and put yourself in chains. I was sitting yesterday at a certain point, I had this awareness. If I was going through something really hard, I was actually going through something challenging. I'm going to tell you how I moved through that in a minute, because I think this could be helpful for you. I was feeling this heaviness in the pit of my stomach. It was old ancestral energy coming up for clearing. Wow. And I'm not drinking any alcohol or doing the sugar or the white bread at the moment, so I can feel my feelings. I'm not saying you can't do those things, but I'm at a point right now in the next level of spiritual, what I call up-leveling, refinement in one's vibration. And so that's not for me at the moment, doing those things. So I was sitting there and I was feeling this feeling in my belly. And I sort of think of, I live in Los Angeles with all these spiritual teachers and yogis and that. And who would I want to actually reach out to? There's one person, two people that I thought of, but one with this certain thing. There's one person in particular who I adore and I've known over 20 years. And she's incredible because she bridges the spiritual world, the metaphysical world, and then the practical world very well. Her name's Anne Cates. She has 2 PhDs. She's an incredible author. And I thought, well, who else would I want to reach out to? My husband was at work. My husband's someone I can talk to, Nick, that I can talk to with everything. He's brilliant as well. Otherwise I wouldn't be married to him, right? I thought, well, who would I want to reach out to with this certain thing that I was going through? Even with everything in LA. Who has that experience? This is for me, right? It's for me in my journey and my path. And so there's different things, right? Different people for different situations of stuff. I thought to myself, I thought about Mercedes. Her name's Mercedes, who's a bank teller at Wells Fargo up on Sunset Strip. I thought if I could go and sit down with one of these spiritual influencer gurus in Los Angeles, or go and sit down with Mercedes from Wells Fargo to have a cup of tea or coffee and just go through, process what was going on in my gut, I would pick Mercedes. I'd pick her. How can we flush out more of these blind spots? I know for me, what I have to do is I have to be with the discomfort of the feeling. And then when I didn't feel like it, I knew if I just write down the discomfort here in my gut, because if you can pinpoint where that discomfort is at an energy level, and so gut is all about your power center, it's right, your gut instinct, your ability to feel and know, a combination of clairsentience and claircognizance. But you can, if you have not read my book Unleash the Psychic in You, I go into detail and the step-by-step process of how to tune in effectively, whether you want to do it professionally or just to be able to help your family, your loved ones, in your own life. I forced myself to start to write. I couldn't write longhand. It's a good way to do it. I had to make myself go into the notes section of my Mac. I'm a Mac person, and type. Felt heavy. A few minutes later, that heavy feeling started to transform. It started to lift. I felt a little bit lighter. And then a couple of really great things happened. Fantastic things. And it was a reminder to me of the power of energy. Where we are in a world where it's more, do, my soul is saying, really take the time and the space to be able to feel and to connect into spirit. When I say spirit, it's the higher realms, it's to the deities, the ascended masters, your spirit guides. I talk a lot about that and teach that in a course on Udemy called Prosperous Angel. It was meant to be, so ironic, that course is meant to be about teaching you abundance and around money, but it's actually really advanced psychic development. But it does both in there. Because this goes back to the thing of sometimes we say we want certain things, but we actually need something else. The biggest challenge that you are going to find yourself experiencing as you grow spiritually, as you really wake up, you know, when you have that first lovely awakening, wow, it's exciting. And you get high off of that spiritual connection, these magical spiritual things, which that does happen throughout the journey. What happens is, if you really are serious about doing the work and transforming and being of greater service and bringing joy and happiness to the people around you, you're gonna have to go deep. When you go deep, for my friends, for those of you that have seen Stranger Things and understand about the upside down is a whole space. Think of it like in Greek mythology, like Hades and Persephone being in the underworld. It, in the metaphysical, mystical sense, it exists. It exists. Going into that space, into that realm, takes courage. Takes courage to step back. And when I say step back, I don't mean go backwards, but to step back, to be able to imagine if you can get behind yourself, then you can see the blind spots. You can see where the unevolved ego is driving you and causing outcomes that you don't want. When you start to release these deeper core patterns, it is very commonplace to feel worse before you feel better. This is what happens. A lot of the time, people get scared. They don't want to deal with it. If you can have the courage to deal with it and be your own spiritual leader, so to speak, the quality of your life will improve dramatically. There will be this gratitude that rises up from within your core and emanates from your heart, where you start to connect with people that you really, where there's just there's just this joy, and there's this feeling of this generosity of spirit that comes because you're not scared, because you just know you're not competing with anyone. You know what you're here to do. I've published 3 books. I've worked in the self-help industry, spiritual development, like I said, for over 20 years. I've done thousands of intuitive readings, helping people discover their life purpose and figure things out with relationships and what's blocking them, and how to transform blocks into stepping into guiding others, etc., etc., etc. And yesterday, I said to myself, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I meant to be doing? With what I see in the world and how people are walking around awake yet asleep. And people think they are awake and they are conscious and spiritual, and they haven't got a fucking clue. They just don't. Some of these people are brilliant at marketing. This is a conversation that I was having with someone earlier today. They are brilliant at marketing. And they can come out with the sound bites. I can understand when you go on national TV, you do stuff on sound bites. Big social influencers look fabulous. It's great. And yet, they don't have the core of what is needed when you go into your spiritual transformation, into your Hades, into the Stranger Things upside down, and you've got to slay those demons. Because in law of attraction, it's like, oh, well, you just focus on the positive. If you've got a lot of shit in your ancestral lineage, which most people do, or if you've cleared your own karma, then spirit's going to say, okay, who wants to step up and help clear this other soul group's karma? Who wants to help with that? Who's going to volunteer? So either way, just because you clear your own personal stuff and you're clear and you've got your finances in order, your relationships in order, your health in order, all that good stuff, your home organized and tidy, then there's the opportunity, the call to, you start to transmute, work through other people's energy and stuff. And this is why sometimes I'll be online, I'm there, I'll do some posting on social and engage, and then literally I feel the energy of certain stuff that is going on with certain people and soul groups. Again, not because they're bad people, because they're dealing with all their burdens and their stuff. I have to get offline. I have to transmute that energy. I have to sit, I have to meditate, or I have to go exercise or do a jog or something, so that I can recycle it. I mean, I could talk to you for hours and hours on this stuff, but I want you to just, these things, I'm touching upon certain subjects here because I want to encourage you to think. Please go beyond the pseudo spiritual surface crap. Don't be one of those people, please. Come on. I had someone reach out to me the other day. I've had a few people reach out to me that are just waking up spiritually and they want to take energetically, but they're not willing to do the work. You gotta have some energy in the game. I don't want to just hear it because I can read your energy. I can see the subconscious, unconscious bullshit. I've done it too. I've done the same shit. We all do it. We're just at different stages of development in our journey. My health coach, Garen Jones, like when I go through my stuff, he's so brilliant because he just doesn't engage with my stuff when something's coming up. And then when I come out the other side of it, he connects to me again. I am so great. I adore him. I'm so grateful for him for that. I interviewed him on Life Stories as well. Actually, it was from interviewing on Life Stories. I went, wow, this guy's so cool. I mean, he went from being homeless 7 years ago to having 2 multi-million-dollar businesses. That's a lot of inner work. That's a lot of courage. That's a lot of showing up and being of service. I'm so grateful to him for that. I want to, Anne, who I was telling you about before, Anne Cates, award-winning author, she just texted, you might have heard the ping before my computer, so I'm going to chat with her afterwards about some things that we're going to exchange, what we see, what's happening at an energy level on a planet in more detail. And after I've done that, at some point when I've processed that, I will share some of these things with you. I am going to pick a tarot card here for us. This is collective consciousness. If you are watching this, if you've made it this far, I don't know exactly how many minutes I'm talking here, going on my thing here. Probably going to want to retreat for 48 hours after this. I just recorded 2 episodes today of Life Stories as well. There is a way, I want to talk with you about this. It's really cool. So this is the Rider-Waite deck. And the Rider-Waite deck I've been using for over 20 years. Now, then we went through a trend where Doreen Virtue with her wonderful cards before she went all born again Christian and then renounced all and said divination cards are awful, which I think divination cards are fabulous. And there's multiple decks one can pick from, and different deck for different scenario, depending on where one is at in one's spiritual development. If you want to do the hardcore deep, you want to get in and do sort of like what I would call the F45 training, CrossFit type of, hit workout of spiritual development where you want to get really strong mind, body, spirit, health integration. You don't say, oh, I just want to get clear and go to a higher plane of consciousness and I'm not going to do the work. You're like, okay, I'm gonna lift these weights, I'm gonna get strong. Then this is the deck. And I'm gearing up, I'm preparing myself energetically to teach more about how to use this deck. Right? I mean, you can go read the book on it, you can look at the cards, but I'm going to teach the stuff that you can't just learn from a book. All the stuff in between. I'm going to teach about all the subtle energies with it that is coming. I'm preparing myself for that. I've been preparing myself for months for it. When I wrote Unleash the Psychic in You, I taught it as a psychic development class for over 10 years. And then I wrote that book in 6 weeks, but it was 10 years in development. Big Miracles, the 11 Spiritual Rules for Ultimate Success, that was published by Harper Collins, that I taught as a course called Big Miracle Breakthrough for several years first. And then I did it as a book. Okay, so there's a journey that occurs with this stuff. We can't just like, you don't just read into it. You have to really, you have to live this stuff. You have to experience it. So here's a cool technique for you, just for now. All right, so the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, 78 cards in it. If you're going to do a reading for yourself, you don't want to do this too often. Otherwise, you will dilute the potency of the reading. If when you pick certain cards, you're like, oh, I don't like that card, or that card's scaring me, or it doesn't resonate, you're going to totally shut out the message from spirit. It's like saying, let me ask you a question. I ask you the question, and then I don't let you talk. I don't listen. I just put my hands in my ears and go, la, 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 la. So what you do, you can look, you can pick a card and go month by month. My suggestion is don't go too far ahead month by month when you are looking for your own life. Okay, so a good time frame to do is, and there's multiple different types of readings you can do, but let's say you want to look at the next 3 to 6 months of your life, which is a good timeline. I love doing 6 months, but if I do 6 months, then I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait at least another 4 or 5 months before I do that type of reading for myself again, because I have to accept what comes through from that reading. Otherwise, what did I just say before? I'm going to dilute the reading. Okay, so mix the cards. Now, a new technique that Spirit just gave me yesterday when I was doing 2 client readings is you mix and mix until you feel like you feel connected, right? So when you're mixing cards, you want to feel the energy. Do not mix the cards like you're doing poker, right? You don't shuffle the cards like that, because different energy, different vibration. You just want to be, you want to be moving the energy, okay? So this is our collective card, all right? You're watching this, you have some form of core of spiritual leadership within you. Again, you do not have to be working in the self-help industry. You can be in another industry, but you are there to help and awaken people spiritually. All right, very important. Mix, mix, mix. All right. So then what you do, I'm going to split the deck in 2, right? Normally I just put it down, left and right. I want you to pick left or right. I'll pick a card for both, okay? So make a decision now, left or right. And then I want you to choose top or bottom. So I'm going to do that in a second. Now, let me just say with this, and it depends on different situations and depending on what your personality. Left, if you pick to the left, it means be patient, slow down. Something is in the works and it is too soon for you to make a decision, so to speak. You need to allow the situation, whatever the thing that is on your mind, whether it's, do I go further in this relationship? Do I leave this relationship? Do I move home? Do I stay where I am? Do I change job? Do I add something to another project? It just means just allow more to be revealed to you. If you're going top, it means that you are in a good, you're in a good alignment. It's just like you just need to allow yourself to receive the impressions. If you're coming from the bottom, it means you need to go inwards. You need to go more into sort of the upside down. You've got to do maybe a little bit of, in some instances, shadow work. I mean, you just got to just flush out some of the stuff that's there. And it's a great opportunity for transmutation, transformation. So if you picked on the left side, you're going through quite a deep, really, you're in a more of a learning phase and a clearing of karma. And that karma could be for yourself, or that it's like a karmic agreement that you had with someone else that you're clearing. And then here on the right, if you pick right, it's a more dynamic energy. It is about you being proactive, you taking action. If there is something, it typically means there is something, a choice that you've made, and it's important for you to act upon that choice and just know that something good is going to come from that choice. If you pick the top card, it means you are really proactive, you are confident, you're in the zone, you're in a high state of alignment. If you pick from the bottom, it means that there, again, are some concerns, some doubts, some fears of, okay, I'm driving things forward, but you need to have more faith in the outcome that's going to occur. We haven't even turned any cards over yet. Look at that. Do you see how you can tune in and read from the tarot and there's no card turning over? Now, of course, in each situation, I'm tuning here on a collective soul consciousness level for us. When I do a one-on-one reading with you where we're chatting either like this, or whether, we do it via WhatsApp, or I'm just doing it on the phone with you, I'm going very specifically into your situations. And if you would like to schedule a one-on-one reading with me, then you can, like I said, you can DM me, you can email Joanna, joannagarzilli.com, and I will get back to you within 48 hours. Because if you haven't heard from me within 48, sooner, it's always within 48 hours. So I take that time offline if I'm just really resetting my energy. You will hear back from me. And you can also go to joannagarzilli.com, to my website, and fill out the contact form there. And I love doing these readings. In that process, you get to learn so much about yourself. And the thing with doing a type of reading when you're looking at 3-6 months ahead, you don't want to do it too much, because you don't want to dilute the information that comes through. All right. It's, wow, on my clock right now, it's 4:44. I love that. Okay, so if you pick top left, wow. Okay, so in this, and I'm going to keep it really brief here. Top left, this card here is 3 of Pentacles. And this, the message from Spirit, I'm going to keep it really, really simple here. I'm going to ask it to you as a question. If there were a skill you were to develop next to be of greater service, what would that skill be? Take that, maybe use the writing technique. What is that? Is it stand-up comedy? Is it an acting class? Is it a cooking class? Is it a social media class? Is it some type of sport? Is it learning about nutrition? Fill in the blank. What is a skill? What is it? Trust whatever comes first. Could be a series of things. Now, if you get, I need to do this, just pick one. Pick the first one that came to mind. All right, moving on. If you picked from the left bottom, ooh, Knight of Cups. The question for you here, in what part of your life are you waiting or hoping to be rescued? And if there were a specific person that you subconsciously wanted to rescue you, who comes to mind? Once you get the answer to that, all your power is going to come in and you will be on fire. Boom, boom, boom. You're just going to get in this zone, this flow. Wow. All right, so that's for you, my friends who picked bottom left. Let's go top right. My friends who picked top right. Oh, King of Cups. Look at that. Look at the synchronicity of these cards. This was on the left bottom, top right. It's this flow of this energy. Question to you, my friend. I told you this for a group of all the people, like the leadership people on this one. If there were a specific way you could help your community, people in your community, which could be from your family to at your kids' school to your community online to where you work, what would be a powerful project for you to embark upon fills you up and allows you to be dynamic. Do not rush answering these. This is a deep question. So create the space for yourself to be able to answer that and channel the answer to this. And then the last card here is if you picked bottom right. Page of Wands, but it was Page of Wands in the reverse. So this means for you, it is likely you are very creative. You have strong creative ability, and you've been going through a little bit of it's almost like, don't overthink things. What have you been thinking about? Where have you been pushing too hard? And the action for you would be back off so that you can allow yourself to get in that creative flow. Sometimes pushing does not get you where you want to get to. Just got to allow and trust, which then loops all the way back round, right, to here. You can allow your creative spirit to soar. And with this, if there were a book to write, if there were a painting you were going to do, a dish you were going to make, or something, whatever that represents creativity for you, what would that be? All right. Those are the tarot for today. There's a lot to take in here with this. We're in exciting times. I refer often to Dickens' quote, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." Even though there is so much stuff going on in the world, and at times it can feel quite overwhelming. Allowing yourself to take this time, the time that we're taking now, can really lift your spirit. And suddenly, from everything being like Armageddon, are we all going to die tomorrow? Is everything going to fall apart? We can find that connection. There's that joy. Things can work out great. Really, right now, you can do it. I am so grateful to have this opportunity to connect with you today. I'm going to be having episodes of Tarot News. That's coming. There's going to be more Tarot News. And if you are in the Los Angeles area and you would ever like to go for a little walk or a jog through, I live in West Hollywood, and go through Beverly Hills Park, which is gorgeous, and come back and have a little tea or coffee or a protein shake, and come over and do a tarot reading, it would be delightful. I would love that. All right. Joanna Garzilli here of joannagarzilli.com, and on social at Joanna Garzilli. Sending you lots of love, and I will see you next time.